My friends, today is the day. Come with me. Man, what can I say? I always wanted to try an Harley and today is my lucky day.
Okay, let's stop right here. It is clear that your friend was very excited to be on a Harley, and that's not ideal when you want to give your honest opinion about the bike. So I decided it would be best to do a voiceover video instead. I might let him speak from time to time, that is, if he behaves. This video, based on my 12-page script, will be a long one. I do apologize in advance for that. To make it easier, in case you want to move to different parts of the video, I added chapters to it. You can see it directly on the timeline or on the description. So this is the first test ride I'm doing, and we are starting with the 2020 Harley-Davidson Sport Glide. Let me show you the bike and some of its specs. Starting with the looks of this bike, man, simply put it, I love it. I think it strikes a great balance between a classic and a modern look. The bike here has a vivid black finish, and if I was to buy it, that would be the color I would get. That mini fading can be a bit of a love and hate thing. Personally, I actually like it. It features a quick detach system, so if you prefer to have it off, it is a 10-second job. It is more of an aesthetic thing, as it will not do miracles when it is that small. As we are looking at the front of the bike, it is worth mentioning the headlight is LED. I didn't test it at night, but the comments I've seen is that it does quite a good job, considering it is a stock one. Moving down, we have this awesome looking Mantis 18 inches wheel. I really like the look of them, and well, they are easy to clean too. And also inverted forks for better performance. Standard Harley controls here with your indicator buttons on both sides, with auto cancelling too. The usually horn, lights, starter switch, and a nice bonus, cruise control. Hell yeah! The only Softail coming standard with cruise control. Very nice extra. On the display cluster you have this analog speedometer, digital rev counter, gear indicator, trip A, trip B, total mileage, remaining mileage, clock, and a fuel gauge, which is quite nice. On the back we have these very handy quick detach saddlebags. They are not too big or too small. I would say they strike a perfect balance between looks and functionality. For me, having saddlebags is a must. Yes, I can add an aftermarket saddlebag if I want, to any bike, but coming from stock with them is a plus, so extra points for that. That kind of modularity is awesome. You remove the saddlebags in the mini fading and you got yourself a totally different looking bike. You can go from a bike to go on a long weekend ride with some wind protection and saddlebags to a bike that's perfect to just go on a quick blast with no frills, easy filtering through traffic if needed, and always turning heads on the way. Great looking seat, but the pillion seat seems to be a bit too small, so if you want to keep your other half happy, then you might have to change the seat. But I haven't tried it, so that's only based on how it looks. Anyway, let's get on a bike and get those first impressions. So first thing to note after swinging my leg over, the seat is nice and low, just like any cruiser really, at 680 millimeters. It is not too wide, so I would say that combined with seat height makes it easier for pretty much everyone to flat-foot it. This will naturally increases your confidence in controlling the bike. The bike weighs 317 kilos, that's quite a lot. That's 82 kilos more than the Vulcan S. But to be fair, it doesn't really feel that heavy. It is a really well balanced bike, and when riding, that extra weight just disappears.
Ooh, alright. So this is the only time that this bike actually feels heavy, is when you have a small incline here.
The Sport Glide has the foot pegs on the forward position, but they aren't too forward. I find it to be perfect for my height, 179, or if you prefer about 5'10". My arms are very relaxed too. Maybe they are a bit too low for me, but feels great anyway and provides great control over the bike. The foot peg position adds to that control as your center of gravity is much more centered. The stock seat placed me in a good position and does hold me in place, but is it comfortable? Yes, I was very surprised. We rode for about 3 hours and I could easily go for another 1 or 2. Man, easily. And when it comes to start the bike, well, it is keyless. Some people love it, some people hate it. I love tech, so I think it's absolutely great. Let's talk about comfort. Well, riding position is very relaxed and indeed very comfortable. One thing that contributes to the riding comfort is the upside forks, and I must say I wasn't expecting this Sport Glide to be this comfortable and smooth. You know, one thing is being able to do a test ride just around the corner, like 30 minutes or so. Other is being able to take the bike out for a few hours and try it on the roads you normally ride on, and that's exactly what I was able to do on this test ride. So I was really able to have a good idea about its different riding characteristics when compared to the Vulcan S. Because the Vulcan S doesn't handle potholes and road surface irregularities that well at all, I was making the best I could to avoid all of it. But eventually you will go over a bump or two, it was inevitable. And then I realized, bloody hell, wow, this bike filters all those bumps extremely well. What the hell? I was surprised, very surprised by that. I mean, given the price you pay, I would expect it to have wings and just fly over all those potholes without feeling any turbulence. It is not exactly like that, but sometimes it feels like you are just cruising on top of a cloud, like Son Goku used to do.
Hey down there! Whoa! Wow, it's great!
Am I impressed? Hell yeah, I am. I mean, given the price, I was expecting to be good, but not that good at all. Definitely exceeded all my expectations. I rode for about 3 hours and I was good to go for another 2 or more. I mean, easily. Also to note was the vibrations from the engine through the pegs and hand grips. I was expecting it to be bad. I mean, that's what I see people saying on the internet. Well, folks, I guess that was indeed a case in the past, but not anymore with this new Milwaukee 8 engine. It is buttery smooth. The vibrations were minimal. I mean, it's a motorcycle, you will always get some vibrations. Imagining as if I was talking in a more musical sense, the vibrations you feel are on the lower end of the frequency band. So for me that wasn't a problem.
Oh man! Ooh. Seriously, man.
I find the high frequency vibrations, again thinking as it was a frequency band, much more tiring and annoying. And how well does this bike performs? Well, this thing is a beast. You don't feel the weight that much, especially when on the move. There is something special about opening the throttle on a heavier but powerful bike. Those 139 Newton meters of torque are essential for that.
And there goes the lower right ass. See, just ask her to go and she goes. And he has the blinker on. Let's reduce here. Gustavo is a very experienced rider. He has been riding for some years. Oh man, this sound. Wow. Let's see. The lean angle is less than the Vulcan S, but again, I don't really ride that hard. Just sometimes I like to do this, but
horsepower on cruisers are not the most important thing. It's clear that the holy grail is the torque. But nevertheless, the Sport Glide has a help of 83 horses, 22 more than my Vulcan S. So that's not a huge difference, but then again, it is not the focal point on a cruiser. And that delivery of power and responsiveness is very smooth and linear. It is pretty much immediately. It is all there available for you from the very beginning. I don't know how to describe it, but sometimes what comes to my mind is it seems I'm the driver of a big, heavy, badass train that transforms itself into a rocket from a twist of a throttle. It feels like you are being catapulted through the air. Whatever is on your way will be destroyed. It would push everything away. It is a feeling of being unstoppable. Anyway, as a cruiser, the kind of ride you would do with it, or at least the kind of ride I do, is a very relaxed one, riding it slow to enjoy the beautiful sights Scotland has to offer. And the Sport Glide shines there too. The engine is more than happy to ride along on low RPM range. You feel the engine is at home on that range, how relaxed the engine is. It doesn't sound or feel like it is urging you to twist the throttle a bit more or drop a gear and just go.
okay, see guys, how smooth it is, the engine response. It is very smooth. It's not jerky at all as the Vulcan S. Well, I guess that's a different type of engine as well, so everything plays a part.
She is very nimble. You can push her through the corners and scrape the pegs all the way. She likes it when you ride it hard.
That's what she said.
Drop a gear, twist the throttle and let's fly. I didn't push her that much. It is not my bike and it only costs about 16k. So yeah, let's take it easy, shall we? You can get in trouble very easily if you are not careful.
Anyway, before we continue, go ahead, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell, as I want you to be the first one to know every time I post a new video.
The inputs are really precise and quick. I can throw her from side to side with no problem and holds the line perfectly. So if you want to go and carve some twisties up in the mountains, she will be very comfortable on that environment. Just don't forget, she is still a cruiser, so you will start scraping the pegs and reach the lean limit much sooner than what you would on a pure sports bike. She is also very well balanced with a good weight distribution, so slow speed maneuvers are completed without a sweat. Just remember the Holy Trinity: clutch and throttle control, look where you want to go, and a touch on the back brake. But hey, even if you ride it hard and fast, you have nothing to worry about when it comes to stopping power. That single disc on the front is more than powerful enough to put a stop to that madness. Sure, a double disc brake on the front will be better, but as it is more than just fine. Of course, ABS is available from standard. It is 2021 anyway. so if you panic and brake it a bit too hard, it will prevent the wheel from locking. The back brake is actually very good, well, at least when compared to the Vulcan S. Just when leaving Harley-Davidson I used the back brake slightly on the turn and then to come to a complete stop, and I was surprised by how little pressure on the back brake it took for it to be effective. Sure, that could have been down to the way it is set up, but during the entire ride, and as someone who uses the back brake a lot, and I mean a lot, it really felt like much stronger than the Vulcan S. A day and night difference. Oh, and for my fellow Vulcan S riders, you might be asking, what about engine braking? Well, it is much smoother than the Vulcan S engine. It is not as strong, it is indeed very smooth on the way it slows you down when you let go of the throttle. What about the sound? Well, it is a V-twin, and that is, hands down, the best sound on Earth. That said, it would benefit a lot from an aftermarket slip-on or even a full exhaust system. The stock exhaust, whilst letting you hear some of that traditional V-twin characteristics, it is very subdued. But I guess that's the cost of having to comply with emissions and noise levels and things like that from a factory. As soon as I started the bike, I was like, yeah, I like it. But then my friend fired the lowrider S with an S&S exhaust system and I was blown away. What a difference. Instead of purring like a cat, it was roaring like a lion. That it was, that classic V-twin sound in all its glory. There's lots of options on the market, from slip-ons to full exhaust systems, and some of them are actually very affordable while still delivering a delicious sound. Mamma mia! Maybe that's the most versatile bike Harley makes. It is a jack of all trades, really. Do you want to go touring? Sure, not a problem. You already have saddlebags from standard and a small fairing. The seat is good enough to ride 4 hours straight. The suspension is great. The controls are in a great position, so all that together provides comfort for hours. Add the CC bar and you have space to carry a tailbag. Do you need to commute to work? Not a problem. Nimble enough and small enough to take it through traffic and even filter, if your country or state allows it. Are you just riding around the neighborhood so you don't need the saddlebags and mini fairing? Well, in under 2 minutes you can change it from kind of a mini bagger to a naked cruiser. Awesome! What more can you ask for? But probably the most important thing is it a fun bike to ride? How does she make you feel? How big is that smile that she puts on your face? She's an awesome bike to ride. She does whatever you want it to do. I really loved every single minute I spent on it. How nice and relaxed she made me feel. It was just me and her. She made me forget about all that crap and stress about COVID-19. It made me feel very much in connection with it, with the road, with the awesome views. I mean, I really didn't want to stop riding. The smile, bigger than my own face. My cheeks were hurting for days after that, and that says it all. I have been telling you basically how great this bike is, but there are some things that I don't like it that much. Let's start with the sound. Yes, I said before that I liked it, but man, after you hear another Harley with an aftermarket exhaust, like on the case of my friend on the lowrider S, there is no way back. It's orgasmic. That bike really needs an aftermarket exhaust to go from a little cat to the king of the jungle. For some reason, it was hard to find neutral. I struggled a couple of times. The Vulcan S is much better on that aspect. Is it an issue that plagued just this particular bike, or does the majority of sport glides suffer from that? I can't really tell. If you have one or had the pleasure to test ride one, let me know in the comments if you struggle too. The position of the cluster display on the tank looks great, but I found that I was looking down way too often, either to check if I was still within the speed limit or to check what gear I was on. Another small complaint I have is the fuel cap. As far as I know, it doesn't lock, so anyone can get access to it without needing a key. I'm not sure I would feel totally comfortable in leaving the bike unattended. The indicator controls were strange to get used to, as now I had to use both hands, but that wasn't the big issue. I found they didn't provide much feedback when you press them. The traveling on each button is so short that it was really hard for me to tell if I did press it or not. That led me to sometimes press it again and again, so I would end up riding for a good while with indicators on, as you can see on some of the footage. Are those dislikes a deal breaker? Not really. No bike is perfect. Every bike will have some flaws here and there. And what did I like the most? That's tough, as I feel in general it is a very good bike, but coming from the Vulcan S, I would have to say comfort was what impressed me the most. Come potholes, bumps, long rides on the saddle, whatever, you name it. It is indeed a very comfortable bike. I love the versatility it offers. It's like having two bikes for the price of one. As I said before, it is a jack of all trades. It goes from an around town cruiser to touring in 2 minutes. Oh, and that 18.9 liters tank, it enables me to ride for longer instead of worrying about refueling. Also cruise control, although I didn't use it during the ride, because I had no idea how to activate it. Should have checked that before the test ride, shouldn't I? But anyway, on longer rides, being able to just set the speed you want and then being able to relax your wrists a bit more is a very welcome addition to the already great comfort the bike offers. And its value, yeah, it is a cruiser, so naturally it is expensive. But if you look at the Harley lineup, it really offers lots of great features. Large fuel tanks, saddlebags, cruise control, and so on. For me, it is the best value Softail, period. And what about running costs? I will not go over insurance because it is dependent on so many personal factors, so let's focus instead on the cost of services and service interval. So, here in the UK, and starting with the road tax, as the bike is over 600 cc's, that means in 2021 you will pay the full £93 per year. In terms of services, the first service is done at 1000 miles and then at 5, 10, 15 and so on, or yearly if you don't do all those miles. The cost varies from dealer to dealer, and unfortunately I could not get a reply from Harley-Davidson Annabella in time for this video. But I asked my YouTuber colleague about service costs, and he told me it generally varies between 250 to 350 pounds. If we take the higher value, it means after the first year it would have a running cost of around 443 pounds a year, or about 36 pounds 92 a month. So not that cheap to run when compared with the Vulcan S, but that was more than expected. Anyway, if you don't know, check his YouTube channel following the link in the description. He rides a Sport Glide and offers really valuable information on his videos. Thanks, mate! But now you may ask, why the Sport Glide and not the Lowrider S, the Fat Boy, or any of the other Softail models? To be fair, I love the Fat Boy. It is an iconic bike and it is probably the most good-looking bike Harley makes. And for me, it has a special place in my heart. This will sound like a cliche, I know, but I really don't care. It was around 1992, I was 8 years old and I saw Terminator 2. Man, it really hit me. I mean, a very impressionable 8 years old watching a movie like that with a badass guy making an incredible jump on a brutally awesome bike. Simply epic. I kind of grew around motorcycles, but it never clicked until that day. That was the day I told myself, one day I'll have a bike like that. And that day seems to be getting closer. This doesn't mean it needs to be a Harley. I'm not by any means a brand snob or anything like that, but there's not that many options in Europe if you want a brand new cruiser or even a used one with a feature that is essential for me, that is ABS. So okay, let's start with the price. Even the cheapest bike on the Softail range, the Softail standard, costs 13k, and the prices go all the way up to 20k plus with the Breakout and the Fat Boy. When I started to compare the specs of all the bikes, looks aside, because as a cruiser guy I kind of like the look of all of them, I realized that the standard wouldn't be ideal with its small fuel tank and the back to basic style. I think it would be the perfect bike if you want to customize it heavily, which is not my case. On the other hand, the Fat Boy seems to me just way too expensive for what it offers. I mean, for me even the Softail standard is a crazy expensive bike. Anyway, it is a cruiser and I think that says it all. I did the same with all the other bikes and came to the conclusion that the Sports Glide offers the best value within the Softail range. The most versatile option from Harley-Davidson. It comes with removable saddlebags, 18.9 liters fuel tank, inverted front forks and cruise control. If you forget about the Softail standard and the Street Pop, it is the cheapest fully featured Softail Harley makes, and it offers a lot for the money. For example, it is the only Softail to come with cruise control from factory. So yeah, that's the reason why I chose the Sport Glide over all the other Harley offers, to potentially be my upgrade from the Kawasaki Vulcan S. Anyway, what other bikes do you think would make a great upgrade? Let me know in the comments below. And that's it. I'm sorry this was a lengthy one, but I really wanted to provide you with the full picture. I would like to thank Harley-Davidson and Ibra in the person of Neil for the opportunity to test ride this beautiful machine. If you guys are around and fancy an Harley, just stop there for a chat, swing your leg over some of the models and even take it out on a test ride. And of course, thank you for watching the video till the end. I hope this video was useful to you. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up, and if you have any questions, write a comment below. Thanks for watching, ride safe, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Kadosh!